I am so ready to get this season started. You don't even know everything that's happened to me in the past how many ever months we've been apart. September, August, November, half of December, we've been apart. And a lot of stuff has happened. Welcome back to the End Goal Podcast. Or if you're new here, welcome to the End Goal Podcast. This is season 2 of my, as of right now, seasonal podcast where I discuss my experiences in daily life in personal growth, mostly in personal growth aspects, the personal projects that I partake in, the pitfalls that I find, the successes that I have, the failures that I have, and in all that, I am just searching for my end goal in life, which I think is one of the most important things for us as people is trying to find, what do I feel is my end goal? What is my purpose? What am I trying to achieve? And then starting to tailor your actions towards that. This podcast is just a chronicling of my experiences on the way to find my end goal. And I just hope that through my experiences, maybe you find your end goal faster than I found mine. And then you can tell me how to get there quickly if I haven't gotten there yet. Season 1, I launched as a pilot just to kind of see how I liked podcasting. I loved it, by the way. I'm sorry about that. I have my mic set to do a audio feedback, and I forgot I had my my audio coming through my main speakers. So if you heard a little bit of echo there, my bad. Back to what I was saying. Season 1 was a pilot, and I absolutely loved podcasting. And I just love talking about these topics in any way I can. And also, I love finding a way to bring my friends and the people in my circle into this conversation. Because the biggest thing that I learned is everybody is doing dope stuff. And the best way for us all to learn and grow and support each other is to know what dope stuff each person is doing. Learn their experiences, learn what they struggled with, what they found success in, and we can all take a little bit of maybe some kernels of wisdom from each of us. And so along with me just being here solo and talking, I also like to bring my friends on who are doing dope stuff just to give everybody a background on who they are, what they do, and just kind of ask them about, what their goals are, what they think their purpose is, how they've gotten thus far in life, and what they're looking forward to in the future. Conversations like that. I try to tailor it away from maybe what people already know about them and try and talk a little bit more about what people all don't know about them. This is seasonal because your boy is a worker in the U.S. tax industry, and therefore I have 5 to 6 months out of the year that I can't really do much else except work. So I keep this podcast seasonal, basically around the time when I can actually record, edit, post, and I have the mental capacity to do all that and have all these experiences, etc. So let me just go over here real quick for the focus. I would like my camera to focus. If my camera would focus, I would really appreciate it. Hello? Okay. I think we're good for now. Sick. This podcast does go up on YouTube and Spotify only right now. Not for any specific reason. I just think I just did use Spotify and then YouTube because I like the video aspect of it. So you can find me on either one. And as always, I like to interact. A lot of people, I always respond to comments, any questions you have, anything you'd like to talk about. I respond to everything. And I just love discourse, dialogue. I'm a huge fan of banter. I would highly recommend, if you haven't listened to the previous season, to go back and at least listen to the last episode with Canvas. You'll kind of see that we do enjoy banter more than anything. So let's just get into today's topic, which is kind of just a little bit of recap of how my fall went, asking you guys about how your fall went. How you doing? First of all, how's it going? How did your fall go? How are the past 3 months for you? I hope they went well. I hope you set some goals for yourself and you achieved all of them. If you didn't achieve all of them, I hope you made some strides towards them. Maybe you built a plan. Maybe you wrote some stuff down. Maybe you actually went out for a walk, you stretched a little bit more than usual. Maybe you actually got back into the gym. Maybe you ate better that one day. That one day matters. I'm proud of you. So keep working at it. Keep working at it. And hopefully one day you'll be exactly where you want to be. And then you look up and say, I don't feel like I need anything else in life. I am where I want to be. I think that's the best feeling that we can have as humans, is not wanting more, because naturally we're greedy. We want more. We want this. We want that. We want what we don't have, instead of being just very, very happy with what we do have, which in many cases, there's a reason why we want more, because we're in a place we're in a place of maybe unhappiness or discontent. And in order to get to happiness and contentment, we think we want XYZ things. So I get that. I'm 100% subject to that feeling. So I just hope that you are dealing with it better than I am. My ego won't let me go, but that's a conversation for a different podcast episode. This episode is just talking about a little bit how my fall went and just multiple aspects of my life. So the easiest aspect to start with is I took a little trip in November. Okay, I went to India with my family. Great trip. Got to see my family up in India. Got to see my relatives from both sides. And the city that we were in is kind of a more heavily populated area. And it was hot, bro. It was so hot in India. It was almost as hot as Texas was in this summer, which was in the hundreds. I don't think India got into the hundreds, I think it was like the 90s, but it was hot regardless. So it was super hot, super dry, and just polluted as Indian cities are. And that was kind of the couple of worst things that I just did not enjoy about India. There's so many people, it's so polluted. If you want to go outside, it's just so hot. Traffic is awful. Transporting yourself from one place to another in India is just one of the worst experiences ever, because you don't get where you want to go when you want to go there. You just get up and go, and hopefully at some point you get to where you want to go, and that's about it. That's just how it works. It's not a great system. Everybody knows it. I just don't enjoy it. The day I came back to Texas, and I drove on my Texas roads, wide open roads. People actually respect the dotted lines and the lanes and use their turn signals, and it's not congested and it's open. All of that was amazing. But in India, the last week that I was there, I got sick. And I got sick like I haven't been sick before. I'm gonna give y'all details. Not like details, but I'm gonna give y'all like the rundown, all right? So I contracted a viral infection in India. And that's just not a good thing. Just not a good sign. It was unfortunately a throat one. So think about like strep throat times like 5, if not 10. So my tonsils were swollen. I have a piping hot fever, headache associated with it. So, you can't eat much because your throat's swollen and it hurts to swallow. It even hurts to drink water. Piping hot fever, you gotta take medicine to bring that down. You have so much fatigue associated with it because your body's just trying to fight the infection. So you can't really, all your energy is going internally as opposed to trying to do anything. And so I was suggested an antibiotic by a doctor. And what ended up happening was I took the antibiotic for one day and I noticed some red stuff on my arm. Sent that to the doc, and he said, yeah, you should probably stop taking the antibiotic. So I did, but then we showed my symptoms to another doctor because I was like, I'm just feeling awful right now. He did some blood work. They were like, okay, cool. It's not malaria. So that's great. It's not dengue. So that's great. It's just a viral infection that's going around. I was like, great. That other doctor was like, hey, you should probably continue the antibiotic dose if you've already started it. Because we didn't know if the rashing was the antibiotic or just at phase 2 of the infection in my body combined with the absolute heat that's there in India. So I spent 4 days with that stuff in my body. and the rash just got worse. And my throat wasn't really getting better. My headaches weren't really getting better. I had chills and shivers and sweats. It was like at the beginning of the year, I got COVID and strep at the same time. This was still worse. This was still worse than getting COVID and strep at the same time because I was just out. Like I couldn't do anything. I was just gone. Like you could not perceive me. I couldn't even perceive myself. It was so bad. And so I spent the week trying to recover. And finally on like the 4th or 5th day, I was like, okay, this rash is not going away. The first doc was like, I told you to stop the antibiotic. I was like, you're right. We stopped the antibiotic. Dad brought in, when he flew in, Dad brought in US drugs. Shout out US drugs that I've never been allergic to. I had an allergic reaction to an Indian antibiotic. I'm so upset. Regardless, those are all the details of the sickness. Just kidding. So I somehow am healed enough from this sickness to hobble my way to an airport, through an airport, on an airplane, on 2 airplanes, on a flight, back to here, back to the US, okay? That's what I did. Just popping Tylenol like nobody's business. And we get here and like half my stuff is gone, right? No more rashes because it's not as hot there and it's clean, non-polluted air. Throat by then is basically fine. I can eat fine. I can drink proper water. I can drink water and everything. It's fine. The water here is clean. There's nothing you don't have to boil anything like you do in India. So that day we came, I slept as much as I could, woke up Friday. Bro, I entered phase 4 of this final boss sickness, okay? Throat was fine. Massive congestion in the nose. Drainage. Still had slight headaches just for a couple of days. My shins were blasted. I couldn't stand. Like quite literally, if I stood up and stood still and did not walk, like both my shins blasted, almost like you have shin splints. Just not even a second of standing. They just, bam, started hurting. And then just dry skin because of the rashy skin. It was trying to get, like my body was trying to reject all the skin that was rashed up initially. So it was like peeling it off my body. So anyways, I was decrepit. Long story short, your boy was in phase 4 of this boss and he was on like 5 HP. All right. I was not doing well at all. I tried so many different medicines and drugs or not drugs, you know what I mean, right? Like I tried like Robitussin. I tried Sudafed. I tried Alka-Seltzer. I put so much Vicks Vapor Rub on me. Nothing worked. And I was like, I'm pretty sure this should just go away on its own. Please go away on its own. I was like, I can wait this out. I don't have to go to a doctor. I had to go to a doctor. Like a week and a half later. So collectively, at that point of seeing the doctor, I was sick for 2.5 to almost 3 weeks. And I was just like, listen, nothing's worked. They're like, okay, cool. We'll give you an antibiotic you're not allergic to because I've never been allergic to anything in the US when it comes to medicines. And I was like, great, prescription drugs. And I'm now recording this podcast quite literally the week after. So long story short, this sickness took so much away from me. I kid you not, right? I lost 5 pounds in the process. I'm a hard gainer. Okay? If I lose weight, boy, it's going to be hard to bring it back. I've had to eat a lot because of the antibiotics. So like I'll tell you right now, 1 week after weighing in at the doctor, I was 123 last week, weighed in at 124 this week. We're gaining weight, baby. I lost mass. And so my body dysmorphia is raging right now. I lost time that I wanted to spend recording and making content and doing all these things. So my ego is really hitting me right now. I lost energy. I lost mobility. I can barely touch my toes in a forward fold. My calves are so tight, I can't get into a proper downward dog. I'm so upset. Like, I lost so much with just this period of being sick that I've never lost before. So it was super, super frustrating because it affected everything else in my life. So frustrating. We're gonna bring him back to this September real quick, okay? My wrist healed, guys. For those of you who are new, I had a year-long wrist injury. It was a minor wrist tear in the base of my wrist, um, minor ligament tear, which came from overuse. Not the overuse you're thinking of, but the overuse of rock climbing too much without proper conditioning and really ego climbing in a sense. If you want to compare it to ego lifting, training and doing other things like handstands and other stuff on top of that, being on a computer day in and day out to do my day job and edit videos afterwards at night all the time for hours on end, and then scrolling either on my phone or on my laptop while I'm like reading webtoons and manga and other things online. So my right hand just did not like it. Just at one point, it was just like, nope, we're tearing. It tore. So it took me a year to get. It took it a year to heal, but I was so happy because once it finally healed, your boy was in the gym, ranking shit. Okay, I was throwing up weight, got my pull-ups back, got my sloppy muscle ups back because I lost the strength, but I still have the technique. And now that my wrist is good, I can actually get up on top of the bar. I was just I was doing push-ups finally. I was doing push-ups finally, guys. And then, September, October, I was working out. I was killing it. I was feeling good. I was getting my protein in. Went to India, and now we're here. So the rest of December is going to be rehab for me, stretching, walking a lot, trying to get some energy and natural activity back before I go back into the gym. I wanted to start climbing next year again. Like that was my goal, was to hit the gym really hard this year, continue my wrist and forearm conditioning and my rear delt conditioning. And I was going to hit the gym and I was going to hit the climbing gym. I think that's going to be delayed a couple of months, if not more. It's because I need to get back into the gym and and start my conditioning and my strength training again. So that was so unfortunate. And the thing that I came out of it with I was just very salty, and I was trying not to be, right. My sister was so worried. Bless her heart, I love her. She's my favorite person in the world. She was so worried when I was sick because I was just so out of it. Like I was unperceivable to the world, and I perceived nothing in the world. So she was so scared that something was actually going to be wrong with me, and I was like, dude, I'm fine. I kept assuring her, I was like, dude, I'm fine. But it was hard to assure myself that I was fine once I started seeing all these after effects of being sick. Um, Even when I came back and I was still congested and hurting and stuff, I was messaging her and she was like, I'm so sorry you're still dealing with this. I was like, it's just a minor inconvenience. It's fine. Which it really is. Like in the grand scheme of things, it's a minor inconvenience. It was about a week and a half, 2 weeks of my life that, maybe in the grand scheme of things, I needed this time to chill out a little bit more before I started grinding on content again and making these podcasts and talking to you guys and doing all this active stuff again. Maybe I needed the time. It's just sad that that time came with a regression of a lot of my skills that I had built up over time. But I'm learning to, now that I'm getting better, I'm just learning to kind of deal with it and move on. I just really don't want it to happen again. So I am trying to adjust my lifestyle. Even though my lifestyle beforehand was not unhealthy, it was pretty balanced, to be honest. Just adding a little bit more immuno boosting things inside of it to where hopefully I don't have these issues again, even if I travel to a different place that isn't India, because it's not just India. People go to a different state and get sick. I just went to just the Indian subcontinent. But that's where my fitness has been, is now your boy is in rehab, personal rehab, not like going to the PT, but like I'm just doing things on my own to get back in the game. Mentally, I mean, I was doing so well at the end of the fall, like before I left, that mentally I was like, I was on one. And let me tell you why. Okay, so at work, I don't really talk about work, so I'm going to talk about it like loosely, saying that I did a very good job on my projects at work this year. I was super, super proud of them. I was so proud of them because um, we had an individual on a couple of my project teams uh, who was on leave, and so it was just me as like the main level reviewer and other things like that. And your boy killed it, in my opinion, for being a second year reviewer on technical clients that require client background and knowledge and a level of technical knowledge that, if that person who had left was still there, I would not have grinded as hard. I'll be completely honest. I do great in stretch assignments when everything is on me. You put somebody above me, subconscious safety net. I've tried to like adjust my brain. It doesn't get adjusted. I just know there's a safety net there. I'm working on it, but I've already identified that. So having that person there, not there, I did a pretty good job in the fall. Did not have super crazy fire drills. I met all of my deadlines, delivered things to my clients, all that stuff. It was a really good fall, work wise. On the flip side, personal project wise, I launched Fableware, my bookish apparel brand, on Etsy. And that was the whole goal of the summer. I worked all summer on Fableware, was marketing it in a sense like crazy. I was telling everybody about it. I made videos on it, all this stuff. So I ended up launching it the day after the first of 3 tax federal deadlines, September 16th. Great day. I grinded that entire week. Like I was working during the day, and as soon as I could like stop work for the day, whether it was 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., I stopped, and I spent at least an hour working on Fableware during the evenings. Launched it on Friday night in a sense, and I was so happy with the response and everything. I had, I think, total 17 sales throughout its life cycle so far, which I'm just blessed to have. Everybody who got it loved it. I had a buddy of mine, shout out, you know who you are. He was like, bro, I slept in the sweater. I was like, let's go. That's the whole point. This stuff is so comfy. It's cute. I literally wear it all the time. I changed up. It's so funny. I changed up the way like I dress at work now. And I actually like going to work because I can now dress the way I want to. Because I hate being in office clothing. I don't like the pants I have to wear most of the time. I don't like having to wear polos or long sleeve button ups with a collar and things like that. But as soon as you let me put a Fableware sweater on top of my polo to where it's a collared sweater look with whatever pants I'm wearing, 10 out of 10. I can be in office all day. I'm now comfortable in what I'm wearing and where I am. It was an amazing, amazing situation. So as leading up to the launch, I just started wearing all of the sweaters I had to work, and just doing like just wearing it whenever I wanted to, wearing it everywhere. It is literally my wardrobe. It is my current style. So launching it was great. Then came the part where it was like, okay, cool. You launched it, great. You put listings on Etsy, great. You had some sales, great. You made profit, absolutely not. I knew I wasn't going to. But I learned a lot. This is my first foray into e-commerce. Excuse me. This is really my first foray into e-commerce. I'm learning. This is my way to learn. If I lose money while I'm learning, this is my time to learn. If I actually partake in a different endeavor that's supposed to make money, I will learn a lot from this and then make money there. So that is the goal. So yeah, I launched Fableware. It was great. And then the second drop of Fableware, the number 2 drop, because I first dropped it with 6 designs. The next 4 designs that I was releasing was coinciding with the book release of the sequel of one of my favorite novels of the year, Fourth Wing sequel, Iron Flame, which launched November 16th. Oh, sorry, it launched November 7th. So I set up everything almost beforehand on Etsy. While I was in India, I was setting things up to launch the day that Iron Flame dropped, and I put it up there zero sales. Why? I didn't tell enough people about it. I didn't tell people in the right way. I wasn't able to as um frequently as I usually would put it online and tell people about it and all that stuff. I couldn't do that in India. I was just a bit too busy, and the time zone difference really made things a little bit of a struggle to communicate the way I wanted to with people. So I couldn't put the videos up I wanted, the stories, etc., the notifications, letting people know what's up, what is it, showing people the designs, etc. So I didn't do a great job marketing around that, which I learned my mistakes. I have not launched the next set yet, which is already ready. I have about, I think, 2 or 3 sets in the backlog right now to launch, but I haven't launched them yet because I'm now working on fixing up the listings, fixing up the SEO on the titles, descriptions, and the keyword tags. So I want to get all that right with this initial set before I keep adding things the wrong way. So I took a pause on that to help kind of fix the shop real quick, and we'll see how it goes. If things end up happening with the shop and it's just losing money faster than I expect, although I wanted to spend 5 years on this endeavor, if I'm spending 5 years losing money, but I'm not learning anything through it, and it's just quite literally a sunk cost, then I will stop it early. But the goal is to spend 5 years and just get all of my stuff off the ground, like my content off the ground, have the shirts there as a way for people just to enjoy nice things. Really, that's just what it's for. Like, if you like bookish designs, if you like cozy t-shirts, cozy sweaters, I'm trying to I'm trying to add just long sleeves and hoodies for people that have requested them. Just doing that. I know the margins aren't great on Etsy for apparel and things like that, but it's a learning opportunity. It's how I'm learning different aspects of e-commerce and other things. So I've become okay with losing money and putting money into something and not getting the return I want. I'm learning a lot through this, and it's really fun. It is really fun. And if I feel like I'm having fun with it and it's not affecting my personal finances to do this, like, this is all happening with money that I've already set aside, that I know that this is like um money after all of my bills and finances and stuff is taken care of. I'm good with that. But anyways, I launched Fableware. I'm wearing one of them right now. I wear them in every single video. This is Hector, if you don't already know him. He loves books. He loves books a lot. So I launched Fableware. That was great. That was the main personal project that I worked on. It's just really content is hard right now for me mentally because I have the ideas, I have the frameworks. I don't really script. I just want to get on here and talk, but I don't want to do book podcasts. This podcast is for a different purpose. So I had a really hard time in 2023 finding my voice. That was kind of the hardest thing, was finding my voice, because it, like, sometimes you can talk about something and somebody else understands it and it goes well. Sometimes you just don't explain things properly, or you don't get your thoughts across, and you end up feeling like, I just didn't do a good job. I just did not do a good job. So I want to find my voice when it comes to my bookish content. Like, what content can I make about books for you? Whether it's me speaking about a book as like a book review and my thoughts on it, whether it's me making transitional fun videos around books in forms of recommendations or banter around books, which I would like to get into more. I just need to think about books in a different way. I still think about books as I just read them and then move on. But I would like to start, like, actually actively thinking about the books that I'm reading. Like, yo, this would be a great thing to talk about this. This would be a great point for me to put in this book review as I'm reading the book. This would be a great thing to tell readers about this book. This is how I think about it, etc. Like, I want to actively start thinking about that and then bringing that out in my videos. Hopefully I can find a consistent voice. That is my goal for 2024. And then hopefully making better YouTube videos that attract attention. A lot of times bookish creators, you watch a creator for the creator, not just the books they tell you. Like, yeah, bookish creators have a niche, right? You have a cozy fantasy niche. You have an epic fantasy or regular fantasy niche. You have a horror niche. You have a smut niche. You have just maybe you read a lot of lifestyle, productivity, self motivation, self productivity, self help books. That's your niche. But people watch because of how the creator explains the book, explains the story, explains the content in the book to you in the way that you like to hear it, in the way that you like to receive it. So, but I also know that there's a vanity play in there. If I can make my videos aesthetic, like pleasing to look at, pleasing to hear, maybe that'll help. Um, so there's just a lot of things with content that I'm always struggling with just because it doesn't come naturally to me at all. Nothing comes naturally to me. I'm not good at anything naturally. Everything that I'm good at, I've had to grind to be good at it. Um, I understood that earlier this week when I was having a self-reflection talk with myself. So content is just something I have to grind at. It took me years, a couple of years to get a clean muscle up after I got a sloppy one. It took me a couple of years to get a clean front lever after I just started doing a tuck front lever. It took me even more years to get my first full dragon flag after doing halves for so long. It took me 3 to 4 years to get a dragon flag. So if content takes me 2, 3, 4 years to get off the ground because it took me that long to find my voice, that should be okay. I should not be upset about that. Learn where I can, accelerate growth where I can, accept regression where it might occur, and then I just keep at it, keep at it, keep at it. That's what I'm taking into 2024 is all these things I want to do. Don't be upset with the timeline, right? You just can't be upset with why things aren't happening as fast as I want them and stuff. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about, what I'm working on. And that's kind of I think that's all I had to talk about for today. I want to ask you guys again, how y'all doing? I hope y'all are doing well. Usually I get on this podcast. I will tell you guys a little bit about my week. If we have in December, ooh, I'm so excited. Is it the 27th? It is, I think it's the 27th, December 27th. We have a new podcast book that I will be reading on podcast and bringing to you guys. Last season, I read through Hidden Genius by Polina Marinova Pompliano, flagged the hell out of it, and I brought in snippets and ideas and concepts from the book for just me to discuss on the podcast. And we're doing the exact same thing with Feel Good Productivity by Ali Abdaal when we get the book. And when are we getting the book, you may ask? December 27th is when it should be arriving, which is good because I should be in town that day, which means I can grab it and the immediate next podcast after December 27th, meaning December 30th, New Year's Eve podcast, wagging my finger at you because of something I'm about to talk about. New Year's Eve podcast, we will start talking about Feel Good Productivity as well, which is super exciting. I just love being able to talk about all these things that I like and that I'm interested in. I think I'm going to just tell you guys a little bit of candid stuff. I think I'm going to expand my content to talk about all types of media that I like to consume in terms of books, manga, not anime, and podcasts. So books, manga, podcasts is what I think I'll talk about because those are the three kind of mediums that I really consume that I feel like I get something from. Like I get entertainment from my novels. I get some learning from novels like this, and I don't read a lot of them because I like to read novels more for entertainment and escape. So I only read select productivity novels and nonfiction novels. I read manga for entertainment. I read podcasts for entertainment and learning. So I would like to bring more of that to you guys, right? I would like to tell you guys about my favorite podcasts, my favorite mangas, and my favorite books. Which ones that I recommend, which ones would I not recommend, things like that. I mean, I never want to not recommend a podcast because I feel like that's just like, I feel like I like all the ones I listen to, even if I listen to them infrequently. So, there's that. So I think I might try that in 2024. I don't know. There's a lot that's gonna happen in 2024. I need to write it all down so I can get it out of my brain and actually look at it in paper, not on a computer, in paper. I'm a little bit old school like that. I need paper to-do lists so I can mark shit off. I cannot just have it all on my computer. Um, and then looking forward to the next couple of weeks, I kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit of snippet of what I want to talk about. So there's two things that we're going to talk about, right? First thing is that we're going to talk about is why New Year's resolutions are absolute dog shit. And that's going to be probably next week's topic, because I'm going to give you guys a week to get your New Year's motto set and your plan for next year set. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of detail around how to do that, how I would recommend doing that, and what's worked for me and things like that. But just remember, we don't make New Year's resolutions. Nobody sticks to that shit. So what do we make? We make a motto, okay? New Year motto. I don't know why I'm talking like that. My bad. The word motto just like brings it out of me. So that's that week. Now, New Year's Eve day, I have no fucking clue. I will have a topic for you guys regardless. I just don't know what it is. I would like to get at least one or two of the homies on the podcast this season. So I'm gonna reach out to a couple of guys and see who can come on and who can chat. Maybe we might even have Camus on. Once again, imagine Camus being a recurring guest on the podcast. Just like every season, he's just like back, and there's more shit for him to talk about because he just keeps doing stuff. That'd be so funny and awesome. But yeah, so that's the goal. That's where we're at right now. I'm gonna leave you guys for this week. Take care of yourselves. Keep grinding. We're in December. Think about 2024. Think about what you want to do. Think about those things you want to accomplish. Write them down. Talk to people. Talk to a couple of people about them. Don't tell everybody about your goals. Don't get that like preemptive dopamine effect. Internalize a lot of the goals or just keep them inside. Because some of them you'll need that self-motivation to go after it. As soon as someone tells you, oh, that's dope, that dopamine effect's going to hit and you're not going to do that thing, I promise you. Take it from someone who suffers from that situation. I promise you. Don't tell people about your ideas of what you want to do. Keep them inside until you actually start executing upon it. Then maybe you talk about it. It's kind of what I did for Fableware, and that worked. So, try doing that for some of your other goals. That being said, I do appreciate you if you listened this far all the way to the end. If you're listening to this on YouTube, I'd appreciate if you leave a like, if you leave a comment, if you're new here, actually subscribe. Like I said, this is seasonal. It happens every winter and every fall, summer, for about 10 weeks, sometimes more. If I get into a spot in life where I can make this weekly, still keep it seasonal, but just keep it weekly, that'd be dope. I would do that. Currently, I can't, and next year is going to be very, very hectic, and I'll get into why in later episodes of this season. Goodbye. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week. Start the week strong, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye.